All right, this is Marketing Food Online, and in this video, I'm actually going to cover a subscriber's question about licensing and permits if you're using a commercial kitchen. How do you go about it, and what do you need? And I'm going to get into that subscriber question right now. All right, so welcome back to another video on Marketing Food Online. This is Damien, and I'm super excited to bring you guys everything you need to know about the food business, food industry, starting a food business from scratch, creating a food product or a food truck. We bring you great resources and tons of videos to give you tips and experiences that I've had over the past decade plus, and additional interviews and resources to help you get your business up and running and navigate the world of the food industry, which can sometimes be quite complicated and confusing. So in this video specifically, I'm going to jump into Ron Jenkins' question, one of our subscribers. Thank you, Ron, so very much to ask the question. And it actually is a fantastic question. It was in regards to a video I did about permits, licensing, and such. And it was one in regards to utilizing a commercial kitchen. What type of food business license do you have or suggest? And the question actually, there it is on your screen there. Your videos are very helpful. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate that. What type of food business license do you have or suggest? I will be renting a commercial kitchen. Thanks in advance. All right, so that is a great question. There's a lot of my subscribers that, and even some of my clients that I've done my consulting with, that utilize commercial kitchens because they don't, obviously, you don't want to use it from home, or they can't because of the type of food product. Of course, that gets to be a little tricky because if you're working from home, there are only specific certain types of foods that you can make, and non-potentially hazardous foods are predominantly the ones that you can't make. So utilizing a commercial kitchen really does actually open the door of opportunities, but it can also be a little bit confusing when it comes to licensing and permits. So I'm going to run through a handful of different licenses and permits that most food businesses will incur and how most states will end up looking at using a commercial kitchen. So number one, you definitely want to make above and beyond any licenses or business licenses from the counties or city that you're in, make sure you incorporate yourself. And I know you may be thinking, well, that's kind of silly. Of course, you got to incorporate yourself. You would be shocked at how many people actually start food businesses. In some of the states, when you start from home, even just locally from like the cottage food perspective, they don't require you to actually be incorporated, believe it or not. Not every state's like that, but there are some that are. So do yourself a favor from a liability standpoint. I always start most of my videos actually with this. Please do incorporate yourself. And if you're not familiar with how to incorporate, simply check down in the description below this video. I always have a ton of additional resources and links to help you get your food business started, especially incorporating. There's IncFile. There's a handful of them that I'll have listed there, but IncFile is actually one that's super simple and very quick. And they also, from time to time, they also run additional sales and such and discounts. Now, let's get to the questions. So, number one, incorporate yourself. Number two, you get yourself food business insurance. Okay. Now, if you're using a commercial kitchen to produce your food product, but your business office is kind of at home. You're not exactly selling it from home, but you're utilizing a commercial kitchen. Certain counties and cities will actually require that commercial kitchen's address as the place of your business. Some. Now, you need to check with your county or city and the business licensing office that actually issues the business license. Let them know that your business is actually going to produce the food product at a commercial kitchen. Now, it's very important because that's also going to dictate to the city or the county, whomever it is that's actually issuing your business license, that you are producing a product there. It's not a cottage food business, so you're not going to be licensed as such or required to follow cottage food laws. But it's also going to give them the opportunity to know that you're using a commercially licensed and inspected facility. That's where it's being produced. Now, the distribution of the product as well, you need to ask them if you're allowed to either A, use that address as the distribution as well, how the city and county actually classifies you. Would you be a food manufacturer? Would you be a repackaging, a person who repackages the food? Are you going to be something similar to a bakery or such where you're actually producing the product on the premises and then distributing it locally to farmers markets or restaurants and such? That's going to differentiate the type of license that they're going to give you. You also need to get a FIN number. That's a Federal Employer Identification Number for your business. That is something that would be required as well. Okay, you need to also check into getting a sales tax certificate. So all of the products that you're going to be making in a commercial kitchen, even though you're producing it there and you're selling it, you're still going to have to collect sales tax when you begin to sell that. So make sure you have a certificate, the sales tax certificate from the state. That's actually issued from the state, not the city or county. That's going to allow you to collect sales tax and then remit that back to the state. And that's going to be distributed amongst the actual county that you're doing business in. Now, I say all of this as a little bit of a grain of salt because take this information and check with your specific municipalities, because they all work similar, but sometimes there's a slightly different necessity or different requirement that's needed depending upon the county and city. Okay, so I don't want to speak upon your state or your city or county right now because I don't know exactly how they would end up having you classify your business, or the address in which you would use it, how that's going to be on your license. Okay, so check locally and then within the state to make sure you get that state sales tax certificate as well. Now, the FIN number, that's a federal number. You're going to get that from the IRS. That's going to be for your business itself. When you begin to have any type of employers, or if you start to hire people, you're going to have that federal employer identification number for tax purposes. Okay? Now, the other thing you want to think about when you're utilizing a commercial kitchen is the idea of using it. Making sure that when you're signing up and you're paying for the time you're there, that you're actually using it to the benefit of your business. Now, and let me explain what I mean. If you're doing catering or something like that, where you're renting a commercial kitchen based upon each event, then that makes sense. You're going to rent it for a certain period of time to produce a product that's going to be brought to a catering event, and you're going to serve that to your client. Now, if you're creating packaged food products and you have a grocery store, and this is an example, you have a grocery store that places an order with you, you want to make sure that you're using that commercial kitchen to produce that order only. Because if let's say you're being charged $100 to $200 for a couple of hours in a commercial kitchen, that's going to be part of the expense to produce that finalized product. And when you begin to distribute that to local retailers or coffee shops or restaurants, whoever it is that's finally getting the product, you want to make sure you understand that all of that production costs are going into producing your product. So renting a space out for a certain period of time and you're only producing a set amount of product, that's going to cost you money. Okay, and per unit, you need to remember to tack that on so you can understand this unit costs X amount or Y amount of dollars, so I need to sell it for so much. So keep the licensing part is great, but remember the reason for using your commercial kitchen. If it's different things, if it's a prepackaged thing, if you're creating a food product, if it's a catering job, you have to factor that in. Even if you're using it for a food truck, a lot of food trucks are required to actually have a commercial kitchen, either on a license or on a permit or something within the city and county when they register a food truck. So having a commercial kitchen is where they prep all of their ingredients prior to going to an event and taking their food truck there. Okay, so keep that in mind. So I do hope that helps. Definitely make sure that you ask those questions in your city and county level and get the state and federal as well when it comes to those other licenses or permits that may be needed. Definitely, of course, if you're collecting taxes, sales tax, and then definitely, of course, if you're filing taxes, which everyone does. So if that helps out, please do let me know. If you've got more questions about this topic, let me know down below, and I'll get to your question as soon as I possibly can. And I do appreciate it. Thank you again for asking that question. Thanks for watching Marketing Food Online. And if you are looking to create your own food truck, start a home-based food business under the cottage food law, franchise a food operation, start a packaged food business, private label your own food product, sell on Amazon, get your own online store, or sell food online, remember to subscribe and check out these videos for more resources. Take care.